What's up, everybody? Justin here, and it's time once again for another Lake St. Clair fishing report. The Lake St. Clair fishing report is brought to you by Rose Marine. What's up, everybody? Justin here, and well, it's time, like I said, for a Lake St. Clair fishing report. Just got back from a very long road trip to northern Michigan and west Michigan, and well, I cannot wait to get a little fishing in, just like you folks. But yeah, general update for you. The bugs are hatching. Caddis flies are in full effect, and we're even starting to see a few mayflies show up out here on the lake. But that doesn't mean fishing's gonna be bad. You just have to adjust your tactics slightly to get those fish to bite that may be feeding on those mayflies. But also it opens up some opportunities that are a little unique that don't always happen out here on Lake St. Clair as well. So let's get into this week's report. Like I said at the start of the report here, the bugs are hatching, and well, for you guys chasing bluegill and sunfish, it could make for some interesting bites in and around some of these marinas. You could take a fly rod or adjust a bubble in there with a little spider and do pretty well on surface lures right now for the bluegill and the sunfish. Was that a caddis fly? I have no idea. They're everywhere. But also up on the flats and some of the marshy areas with all these bugs hatching, you can have a good time fishing small topwater lures for your bluegill and your sunfish out here on the lake. The spawn for them has really kicked into a decent gear. I'm not sure if it's full blown yet, but they are starting to fan beds. They are starting to do their deal out here on the lake. Yellow perch wise, still not a ton of information coming. Some guys have started to catch them. Normally about this time of the year you can go out to the Bell Hump area and catch them, but if you go back a few reports ago, I left you a number where you can actually text and get updates from the weather buoy, which is not that far from the Bell Hump area. And that number, I'm going to give it to you guys again so you can check the water temp in the center of the lake and know what the wave height is out there in that area. So if you want to make that run, you kind of know what you're driving into. The phone number is 866-218-9973, and all you have to do is text the following number to that phone number and you'll get the real-time data for that buoy. So if you text 45147, I'm gonna do it right now, so 45147, and at this exact moment when I'm recording this, the conditions out there at the weather buoy, which is essentially a little out further from Bell Hump, you have 61 degrees for the surface temp. I know yesterday at 7 a.m. it was 57 degrees out there, so kind of plus or minus a little bit. So we're just starting to eke into the 60s out into the center of the lake, and I'll talk more about that on smallmouth in the next few sections. Wave height's 1.3, air temp 64, wind at 7 knots, so out of the south. So that's so you can see literally what the current conditions are out in the lake. So if you're going to make that run the Bell Hump to go look, try that so you kind of know what you're running into. But that's also good source information for every other guy that comes out here fishing for other species as well. For you guys chasing esox, northern pike are everywhere. Everybody's bumping into them a little bit everywhere out here in the lake. The muskie guys, most people are trolling, but I do know there are some guys out casting. I know off the point of Harley Ensign boat ramp there in the Clinton River, there has been a few muskie caught from guys casting. Also, kind of, let's see, if you draw a line straight north from the barracks, and you draw a line straight east from the Salfordge boat ramp in that general vicinity, I know there's been some muskie caught in that area as well by both guys that have trolled and casted. Those fish were there last year. So there's some opportunities to be had there. Down along the mile roads, the dumping grounds, you should be able to find some fish in those areas as well. For you guys chasing walleye, pick your poison. How do you want to fish from? Do you want to come out to the lake, troll crankbaits and harnesses? have at it. Pick your favorite area of the lake. There's generally some walleye around. There's not a big mega school anymore. Things have kind of scattered into smaller pods, but there's plenty to be had out here. They're getting off Point of Metro, out from the Clinton River, Strawberry Light, the Mile Roads, over on the Canadian side, the normal areas over there, St. Jean's, the 240 hole, the Thames River, you know, all those areas have been producing some walleye as well. But most of the guys that are walleye fishing are actually spending their time up in the St. Clair River and just having a ball. If you want to jig, you can catch your limit. You want to pull harnesses, you can catch your limit. Don't know if anybody's pulling cranks unless they're hand lining, so maybe give that a try. Maybe you want to try and figure out how to use jigging wraps for walleye in the summertime. With the numbers we have right now, it is by far the best time to give it a go. So if you locate some fish, pulling harnesses or vertical jigging, you know, finesse and soft plastics, pull out those winter baits, you know, size 7, size 9 jigging wraps, those bigger half-ounce shiver minnows. Give it a try. Another way to have fun catching fish out here on Lake St. Clair, and you might learn a new technique that might come in handy in the fall time out here. I know there is a group of guys that like to do shivering in the river and do well, and they keep it kind of quiet. So there is, so there is some of that to do out here as well. For the most part, a lot of the shore fishing has been a mixed bag. Your access points like 9 Mile here at the Metro Park here on Point, Harley Ensign, if they're allowing you to get out in the rocks, you got some opportunity to have a lot of fun there. Brandenburg Park, you have the pier. You got the pier at Mary Burke Park. You got the shore access along the St. Clair River all the way up to Port Huron. You got Marysville, Marine City, Algonac, St. Clair. You have a lot of opportunity there to fish the shore and catch bass and catch walleye, catch sturgeon, catfish, a little bit of everything in those areas as well. Let your imagination run wild. There's plenty of fish near our shorelines right now for you shore guys to come out and have a good time. Well into June, from the way that the water temps are setting up, we should be able to have a good time out here. Now, earlier in the video, I was discussing water temps, and when I'm talking about smallmouth bass, I want to bring this up. Right now, essentially, the surface temps and the center of the lake are the exact same temps we're seeing in southern Lake Michigan, where I just was working off of Grand Haven, South Haven, Saugatuck, Holland. Their water is the same temp as we have here. Normally we're well into the 70s by now. The smallmouth spawn is winding down. We're a few weeks into the mayfly hatch, yada yada yada, all that stuff. We're just starting on all that stuff, really. We do have a full moon coming right around the corner, so you should see a huge uptick in activity on the spawn in a few areas, but there's a lot of fish spawning up shallow, out deep, you know, 6-8 foot of water. There is some spawning activity as well. Smallmouth tend to like a little bit cooler water than largemouth for spawning. So we're gonna have fish spawning out here in Lake St. Clair well into July this year without even thinking about it. So when the US Open happens, or the American Open happens here shortly, you could see some really impressive bags on smallmouth. I know the amount of reports I'm seeing from bass guys online has really gotten small, and that's because tournament season is right around the corner and guys are starting to get tight-lipped about what they're doing, how they're doing it, and where they're catching them. But with the bug hatch that started up, you have great opportunities for baits like your surface baits, tiny torpedoes, your jitterbugs, your pop-Rs, to have some play early in the morning and late at night. You know, even out in 10-12 foot of water. Sometimes those smallies are up chasing minnows that are up feeding on those mayflies. Another couple baits that work well in that scenario would be one, the spy bait from Duo Realis, absolutely amazing. A 1/4 ounce or a 3/16 ounce underspin with a 3.8 Kitech or a 4-inch sniper shad on it would be a great choice as well out here. I would probably do white or anything that's kind of a shiner shad imitation, because you want to imitate what is feeding on the mayflies, which are the minnows mainly. So that would be a good opportunity there. If you're more focused on the spawning fish or midday fish, a drop shot and tube are going to be your two primary go-tos right now. As always, your green pumpkins, Formula G3, River Rat, Clark's Delight from Poor Boys, and you know, just those goby colors, those dark greens, the dark browns, should be really good. We should start seeing some crawfish patterns start to pay off for guys out in this deeper water. Lake St. Clair does have a very healthy population of crawfish that live out deeper. There's a new technique that I've been recently become aware of called free lining that I think might play really nice out here on St. Clair. I'm gonna try it here in the next few weeks, and if things go well, I'll kind of explain how it works. But it's a good way to kind of imitate a crayfish out here moving around, I think, and it lets the soft plastic have a lot of independent movement from the weight system that gets it down there. Think Tokyo rig, but the weight is sliding on the main line. So you could use, you know, biffle bugs, bandito bug, different crawfish imitations, you know, 3.5, 4-inch crawfish imitations on that. And that could be a good way to catch fish out here, even right now where the tube bite is. Maybe that's what the fish need to have, a little bit different look than the classic cracking tubes out here that everybody does. Try playing with your rigging, try some different looks, try some different plastics in the right colors, that these fish maybe don't see these presentations out here. Maybe you'll get a few more bites out here on Lake St. Clair. Again, like I was saying, though, the water temp is way behind. We're literally running about a month behind out here on St. Clair, but the fishing has been good. If we can get the weather to cooperate and not have a crazy windy day or rain or thunderstorms come through, hello swans, we might finally get some consistent weather out here to really get some solid patterns put together out here. Like right now, we're 1 foot in building out of the south. So yeah, so that's gonna about do it for this week's report, guys. Let me know down in the comments how you've been doing out here on the lake, and also if there's anything you'd like to see me kind of cover in this report, let me know down in the comments so maybe I can throw that in there for you in future reports as we go through the year. As always, I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in. If you're not subscribed to the channel, be sure you click down below, hit that red subscribe button, and ding the notification bell so you get notified every time I post a video. And if you have subscribed and you haven't been getting notifications on a regular basis that I posted a video, check that bell. Occasionally, I don't know why, but it gets unchecked from YouTube's wisdom or whatever. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, tight lines, happy casting, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. It helps me, it helps the channel, it helps everyone that likes to catch fish.